Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're taking a look at the latest independent era top tier heavy tank Stridsvagn 122A, the Swedish Leopard. This is also the ultimate season pass reward for Frostbite season, as well as I'm using the Ghost Pick skin. The skin looks pretty decent, and as initially predicted in some of our earlier reviews when we were comparing the stat, it is essentially a stock Leopard 2A5 and just plays like one. It still has the premium bonuses that the Leopard does not get. However, um, still a decent tank. Well, let's go over the setup first. So for my equipment, pretty standard. Stabilizer, vents, traction system. For skills, Bond Leader, Rapid Loading, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Sixth Sense, Armor Angling, Controlled Impact, Track Mechanic, and Supply Conservation. So one thing I did notice is the tank is sluggish because of the stock engine, as well as because I was playing Osario. I was a little spoiled with the mobility as well as DPM, so when playing this tank it feels like the reload takes forever. However, it's not that different from your regular MBT or a heavy tank at a top tier. It takes a while. Not every tank is as crazy as Osario, which did have an insane DPM as well as mobility. I was lucky enough to actually get into the Safe Haven map as well, and I was wondering why the first guy died, and now I know why. There seems to be a little bit of hills that if you're not careful, you can fall and die. So I learned from that guy's mistakes and decided to go down as opposed to jumping up and over from a riskier position. I went around the wide side, did not go directly D-line. The last thing I want is to get jumped by multiple tanks, and whenever a new tank is out, everyone just wants to test its potential, so they just like to rush more often than not. Took a longer route. I am held down with some support, just trying to punish. Turret is reliable as much as it could be. However, the hatch is pretty easy to pen if you're stationary. One of the key differences with this tank is the standard pen is better compared to Leopard 2A5, so you will make not only more silver with the premium bonus, but you can shoot standard better, as it's 50 more pen and only approximately 50 less than the premium shells. The biggest thing I had with this tank, as I mentioned above, is sluggishness. So it takes a while, especially when you're going even slight uphill, and then the turning is a little bit slow as well. But again, this is just impacted by Osario. I played the tank a lot during last season. Again, just looking for the opportunity. I was initially focusing over on the right side, but I noticed a tank over on the left, so decided to farm him instead. Little bit peek over there, but I realized there are too many tanks. We don't really have an overmatch here, and if I peek or shoot those guys, they will turn their focus towards me and obviously would want to kill the new tank. So without creating any or showing them a presence, I came back to my initial position where only two tanks are stationed and they already know I exist, so not many can focus me, as well as I'm kind of held down as well. Our team has won the left side, so they will be closing in shortly, but I'm just taking my time, not really rushing in, waiting for an opportunity so they peek. We have also lost another tank that was supporting me over on the back side, so now it's just me and one medium, a light at the distance, as well as a couple more tanks behind. So just waiting for the opportunity. For notice the 477 crossing, obviously the most annoying tank to deal with. However, I had his side, so easy pens. Took him out of the game before he started spraying with me with minigun, or just shooting me in general. Also, I do notice that I don't have any HCS shells. When I noticed 477, I realized I should carry some, but the tank doesn't have the lot of shells to begin with. But I think it's not a bad idea to carry 2 or 3 or even 4 HE shells, especially when you face 477s and are there being annoying. Now rotated to the position I initially wanted to go to create a cross, and just farming tanks that are not paying attention to me, even though reload is very decent, especially when you compare it to the World War II tanks at tier 10, but it just feels long, just because, as I said, I blame previous season pass tank. The guy on the left was one shot, and I didn't want to waste my shell on him, and that resulted in me getting perma-tracked, as I thought that guy will retreat, and I can focus on Osario, who obviously has better DPM than me and is shredding me as I'm exposed. They're just going through my lower plate, as well as track will perma-tracking me, and one mistake or one act of greediness has cost me most of my health and I was about to die, but my team finally swooped in and I survived. Nonetheless, decent game, and we do get to explore the new map, Safe Haven. Seems like an okay map, however, again, first game, we don't know yet. Just one thing I have noticed is be careful while driving over those mountains or hills, as we have noticed two guys that did die before the battle even began. If they were alive, who know what the outcome would be. So moving on to our next map, Erlenberg. I started off more of a sniper role in this game to see how the gun behaves. I do feel that I need a stabilizer if I want to play at a distance, as the gun does seem a little bit off due to being stock Leopard 2A5 guns. However, I was lucky here. I do manage to see a tank that was just crossing in the open, and I managed to pen him as well his side. He's a little worried. Maybe he thought he made a mistake. He stopped, another pen again. Like at that distance, obviously I'm hitting his side, but I was glad to hit that and not miss, and then before he left, put another shot into him. So I think for these distances, I was thinking to maybe swap traction with either vertical stabilizer, and because the tank is sluggish, maybe even with power terrain. But again, it's one of those options that you could use as well. And now just pushing forward. Of course, it can get to the speed when you're going in the straight line, or especially when you're going downhill. It's just the horsepower that can create issues. So push forward to support my team here, so I can finally get into the brawling zone. They do have a cross. Their heavy tank is falling back. I was a little hesitant here because I didn't want it to end up in a cross with that heavy. But they decided to stop peeking, but then started peeking again, and this was a really awkward position for me, as he can just farm if he was a little better player, but he's completely over peeking, exposing his lower plate and then going back. I thought he might not peek as he got penned, but I was wrong. I should have just focused him there, as he's just peeking, over peeking actually again and again, exposing his lower plate, try to get shot on someone. This time he tried to shoot me, but I was lucky where I bounced, and he was not so lucky. And the opposite happened this time. Easy shot onto my track wheel, and I bounced his upper plate. I am getting frustrated here, but by that leopard, but our team has pushed back the other two heavies. So if I make this cross, I will not take too much punishment, and then I can just put pressure on this other Stridsvagn. I might have said its name wrong as leopard. They are the similar tanks though. Yeah, but now I can just farm him for free. He doesn't have any support. Lower plate shot mostly. And just getting back in cover. The thing to keep in mind is just keep moving back and forth, because if you're stationary, even if your hatch is visible, you will get penned. We do have where the shells shatter now, so you don't get penned with shot traps. However, initially, as you will see, I'm moving back and forth, and he's not really penning me. But once he was down to one shot, I do start getting penned. I overexposed a little bit here, and then for some reason I was just too confident. I was stationary here. I thought I'll just hit his hatch, but he did the same thing. Another thing I do notice that fuel tank does get damaged, even if you don't lose hit points. So make sure to repair that. The last thing you want is being at full health and get set on fire because your fuel tank was damaged. That is something, like, I'm always confused by how you can lose a module without losing the health, because that's not your default World of Tanks behavior. Our team on the left side tried to get some shot, but again at a distance 800 or close to 900, not the easiest shot. It is not your the 800 alpha guns with 2000 meter per second shell velocity either, so the shells are slower. If I was, let's say, in Leclerc here, or 292 would have definitely hit those targets, just because of the faster shell velocity. So decided to close in to get a little bit more damage. I don't think I'll have room for much or opportunity for much, as our team is pushing from every direction, and in this map most of our tanks are healthy. There won't be any chance of comeback by the red team, as they're getting swarmed left and right, getting farmed by multiple tanks, and not to mention they're getting farmed by the newer tanks as well while playing the newer tank, Stridsvagn. So yeah, not better than the Leopard 2A5, but you do make silver. very, very high HP for a premium tank, 4100 damage. Wanted to go for a ram, but what an epic fail. What an epic fail. Could have been like 800 damage here and put my controlled impact into use. However, he didn't even do it intentionally. It's just down to bad, I guess, like a slower rotation speed or the sluggish neck of the tank to rotate. I was not able to ram him. So that was the sad part about this engagement. I was already mentally prepared for the ram. But yeah, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about the tank if you are planning to get it. I do like the skin though, the winter theme skin as well. Way better than what we have on the Polish Heavy though. That skin looks really bad. And I hate those kind of skins. So that's it for now. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.